Wait, do not proceed with the video. Do one thing first. A bat and a ball together cost 110 rupees. The bat is 100 rupees more expensive than the ball. So, what is the price of the ball? Got the answer in your mind. Alright, remember that. We will come back to it in a little while, and I will tell you that your answer is probably wrong, and it's not your fault, it's your brain's. Remember the name Daniel Kahneman. He is a psychologist, not an economist, not a businessman, not an investor, a psychologist. And in 2002, he received the Nobel Prize in economics. A psychologist received the Nobel Prize in economics because he proved what economists did not want to believe, that humans are not rational. The decisions we make in career, money, relationships are not made with logic but with the brain's shortcuts. And those shortcuts deceive us repeatedly. The name of his book is Thinking Fast and Slow. Now, let's return to that puzzle. What is the price of the ball? If you said 10 rupees, then you are among the 80% of people who get this wrong. Students from Harvard, Princeton, MIT, these universities also give the same answer 80% of the time. The correct answer is 5 rupees. Because if the ball is 10 rupees and the bat is 100 rupees more than that, then the bat would be 110 rupees and together they would be 120 rupees, not 110. The correct answer is 5 rupees. The ball is 5 rupees, the bat is 105 rupees, total 110 rupees. Your brain gave the answer of 10 rupees so quickly with such confidence that you didn't even check. This is the core principle of the entire book. Kahneman says there are two systems in our brain. System 1, fast, automatic, emotional, it runs 24 hours. Without your permission, without effort, it makes decisions instantly and mostly those decisions are quite good. But sometimes they are terribly wrong. System 2, slow, deliberate, logical. This is the voice that actually thinks, that calculates, that asks questions, but it is extremely lazy. It only wakes up when it is genuinely needed. The problem is, System 2 thinks it is always in control. But most of the time, as dia maske sepan dosetta, System 1 is running and System 2 is just approving its decisions. The first big idea that most summaries skip. Kahneman calls this WYSIATI, what you see is all there is. The information that System 1 has, it creates a coherent story from it, and that story feels so confident, so complete, that System 2 doesn't feel the need to check if any important information is missing. The most painful example of this in India is the job interview. You see someone in the first 30 seconds, they are well dressed, confident and have a strong handshake. System 1 immediately decides this is a good candidate. The rest of the interview goes into confirming that first impression. Information that goes against that first impression is unconsciously ignored. This is why talented people who are nervous or do not appear conventionally impressive often get missed. The second idea is anchoring, and this takes thousands out of your pocket every year without you knowing. When you negotiate salary, flat rate, vendor price, the first number mentioned becomes an anchor, and all discussions revolve around that anchor, even if that number is completely arbitrary. A powerful example, HR said, your current salary is 8 lakh rupees. We can offer 9 lakh rupees. Now you will negotiate around 9 to 10 lakh rupees. But if you had asked for 14 lakh rupees initially, the conversation might have settled at 12 to 13 lakh rupees. Whoever set the anchor won the game. Kahneman's advice, always speak first in a negotiation. The anchor you set is what the other person thinks around. This is a game that most people aren't even playing because they don't know. The third idea, and this is perhaps the most important discovery of the entire book. Kahneman proved that losses are twice as powerful as gains. That is, the pain of losing 1000 rupees is greater than the joy of gaining 2000 rupees. This is not logic, this is biology, and its consequences are everywhere in our lives. The shirt that went from 500 rupees to 300 rupees, you don't sell because selling would make the loss real. So you keep holding and it goes to 100 rupees. The job you don't like, you don't leave because leaving feels like a loss of familiarity, security, that designation. That relationship which is toxic, you don't leave because leaving feels like a loss. Loss aversion literally keeps you stuck in things that are not good for you just because leaving feels painful. The fourth idea, and many people will feel discomfort hearing this. So listen carefully. Kahneman calls it the focusing illusion. When you think about something in one sentence, it is not as important as it seems at that moment. The most painful version of this in India is that millions of children think if they get into IIT, their life will be made. Just this one thing. They spend 4 to 5 years on this, in coaching, under pressure, putting the rest of their life on hold. They get into IIT. 6 months later, they are sitting there with exactly the same insecurities, same anxieties, same emotional issues as before. The campus is different, but they are still there. Because when you were thinking about IIT, it was in your entire consciousness. That's why it seemed like everything, but life is made up of 1,000 other things that were not in your focus at that moment. This is not just about IIT. When I get married, everything will be fine. It doesn't happen. When I get this flat, I will find peace. It doesn't happen. When the promotion happens, I will be satisfied. But you are not. Princeton researchers, including Kahneman, proved in a study that people living in California are not happier than those on the East Coast. When asked about the weather, California's name comes up, but life does not run on weather. We dramatically overestimate the happiness we will feel after getting what we want most, and we dramatically underestimate our ability to overcome the difficulties that arise. Practically, or desire my Maggie. This is the focusing illusion, and it drives our very big decisions. The fifth idea, and this personally affects me the most. Kahneman conducted an experiment that caused a stir in the medical world. 2 groups of patients had to undergo a painful medical procedure. The first group's procedure lasted 8 minutes with the same level of pain from start to finish. The second group's procedure was 12 minutes long, with the first 8 minutes being the same. But in the last 4 minutes, the pain decreased slightly. Later, when asked which procedure was more painful, the second group said ours was less painful. The 12-minute procedure, which was objectively longer and equally painful, felt less painful. That's because it ended on a good note. Our brain does not remember the duration of an experience. It remembers the peak moment and the ending. That's it. This is called the peak end rule, and when you understand it, many things in life start to look different. That meeting which was completely boring but ended with the boss's praise, the memory is good. That trip where there were many problems but the last evening went very well, the memory is amazing. That relationship which was good but ended badly, the memory is horrible. It has a practical application. If you genuinely want to give someone a good experience, whether it's a client, team member, or family, the most important thing is to end the experience well. A good ending can make any mediocre experience memorable. A bad ending can destroy any good experience. The sixth idea, and this is at an epidemic level in India, overconfidence. This is the most consistent finding in Kahneman's research. Humans are systematically overconfident. Doctors who diagnose are not as accurate as they feel confident. Most investors who pick stocks perform worse than an index fund yet remain confident. Students who take exams think they did well. Results come out differently. In India, there is a specific version. In every big city, there are millions of people who believe they are better than average drivers. Statistically, this is impossible or PPC or PE or PB, but 90% of people will say this. Kahneman calls this the illusion of validity. The confidence we have in our skills and predictions is not justified by evidence. Now, an honest thing that pageedge always does. This book is brilliant but was written in 2011, and since then a major crisis has occurred in psychology, known as the Replication Crisis. Some studies that Kahneman cited, especially on priming, were not replicated later. That is, when other scientists conducted the same experiments, those results did not appear. Kahneman himself publicly acknowledged this. He said he regrets some of the findings on priming, but this does not dismiss the entire book. Loss aversion, anchoring, overconfidence, focusing illusion have all been proven repeatedly in multiple studies. The core insights are solid, so take psychology from this book. View specific priming claims with skepticism. And one last idea that personally disturbs me the most. Kahneman says, "You are not one person, you are two. The experiencing self is the one that lives every moment, feels it. Remembering self is the one that remembers the past and makes decisions for the future. These two selves have different interests and they often conflict. You were so busy taking pictures of that holiday that you didn't actually experience it. The remembering self needed the photo. The experiencing self wanted to stay in the moment." Who won? You stayed in that job that made you miserable every day, but you didn't leave because the remembering self liked that comfortable story. Who was living the daily experience? We live our lives for the remembering self, and the experiencing self suffers throughout life. This insight disturbs me because it means we sacrifice the present moment for a memory that will feel good in the future. We diet, stop the real experience of eating so that we look good in the mirror in the future. We do the job that sounds impressive. The actual daily experience is horrible, so that we can tell people. We send children to the school whose name is impressive. The child's actual daily experience is miserable, so that people say, "Wow." Kahneman's simple but devastating question is, who are you living for? The one who feels every day or the one who will remember? Tonight, do one thing. Send that puzzle we did at the beginning to someone, to the family group, friends, colleagues. See how many people say 10 rupees, and when they get it wrong, share this video. Because it's not just a puzzle, it's a window into the brain we all carry, which deceives us daily and about which no one tells us. Kahneman's work was to make us honest about ourselves. Daniel Kahneman passed away in the year 2024 at the age of 90. His entire life's work was based on a simple idea. Humans are much less rational than they think they are. And this is not an insult. It is an invitation to honestly look at oneself, to understand the limitations of one's brain, and to make better decisions despite them. They gave us a gift, a tool to bring more clarity into our lives, thinking fast and slow. Links to both the Hindi and English versions are in the description. This is one of those books that you should read once every few years. Each time, there will be a new situation in your life, and this book will show you something new in it. Subscribe to pageedge. Tell us in the comments whether you solved the puzzle correctly or not, and how did it feel when you saw the answer. The next video is on man's search for meaning. Viktor Frankl's book that he wrote in 9 days after surviving Auschwitz. There is an idea in that book so powerful that it literally makes the difference between life and death. See you in the next video. I am Amit Kalkande. This was pageedge.